3 hours before sleep, no food. 2 hours before sleep, no liquids. 1 hour before sleep, no screens. That one's a little bit harder for me because Lacey and I like to sit down and watch Netflix. We're rewatching some House of Cards right now because we wanted something edgy and she's never seen it before. So we're on that kick for a little bit, but that can change at any time. Yes, I watch Netflix and Hulu and other things because I enjoy television. Welcome to the Hidden Summit podcast. My name is Kevin Valance and I will be your host. On this podcast, we're going to talk about fitness, nutrition, lifestyle, and everything in between. If you find anything valuable in this episode, the only thing I'm ever going to ask you to do is subscribe so you can keep coming back and elevate your life to become better every single day. All right, good morning. Welcome back. My name's Kevin. Welcome to my show. This is where we talk about fitness, nutrition, and everything in between. Today, we are going into the next episode, next discussion, next topic of my Progress Over Time series. If you missed it on YouTube, I posted the second video on my Spotify and Apple Podcast platforms. The video wouldn't upload, so we just have the audio right now. I'm working on getting that up. That discusses why we do what we do and why is really the big picture goal in all of this, meaning that if you don't know why you're starting something, then when it gets hard, you are most likely going to stop. And that is what I want to help you avoid by having in mind the reason, the award of what it is you are aiming to get to, what you want to work for. So when life gets tough, you continue on that path and you take the hard road and you take the road less traveled and you do the things that you need to do to put yourself in a position to win. And you don't quit when it gets hard at first glance or first feeling or first sight. So that was yesterday. Today we're going to talk about how we get this done. If why is the big picture goal in where we are versus where we want to be. Like, I want to get to here because I'm going to be a better mom, a better dad, a better colleague. I'm going to feel better in my skin. I'm not going to be embarrassed when I go out in public and I look fat because I can't fit into my pants and my belly's hanging over my shirt. Those are things that we don't want, so we just decide what it is that we do want and we work towards that. And then when things get hard along the way, like the gym or waking up on time or eating chicken and broccoli and rice versus pizza, that's when we go back to our why and we refer back to it. How we get that done is simple. This is one of my favorite talks. These small, seemingly meaningless decisions that we make every single day are going to yield positive results over an extended period of time. When we choose to do the things that we say we're going to do and hold this integrity in doing them, especially on days that we don't want to do them, and especially on days when nobody is watching but ourselves, that is where the magic happens. These micro wins that we can stack over a period of time are going to allow us to see these changes happen. Now, if the why is how we get to the vision, our end and final destination, and that's what's going to keep us moving in that direction, the how is what we do on the day to get things done. And I didn't make this up, right? I took it from Andy Frisella, and people have been making to-do lists for a very long time. Andy just uses what he calls the power list. And the difference between a to-do list and a power list is a to-do list that I would imagine that most of you have 10, 20 plus things that you think you need to get done today on that to-do list. But the power list is no more, that's at first, no more than 3 to 5 things that you need to get done for yourself to move to where it is you want to go in your life. Now, you can write down any 5 things, right? If it comes to 8 or more, like, let's decide what's important now and what's urgent now to get done today. Because the goal is not to get to the final destination today, is to ask ourselves, what does that version of our future self do today to take one step closer to get to a little bit closer to where it is that we want to be? And that looks like this. Whenever I work with a client and I want to help simplify what this power list looks like to them. And when we're talking about nutrition and movement, I want to keep it really simple. So I have one category and one check mark on that list be about food. So essentially what we'll do when we start is, hit our protein every single day, or follow a meal plan every single day if they're there, or track your macros every single day. It doesn't even have to hit the macros, just track them. But something so simple that you can lean in, right, to start. Because I want you to be able to stack this as a win and check off that you did it. The second is typically water, right? Essentially, when we drink water, we're able to our body is able to function better. We want to stay hydrated. Our body is mostly made up of water, so we want to continue to drink water. 100 ounces, 120 ounces, right? If you're only 60, like get to 60 and then go to 61, and that's progress over time. Small, seemingly insignificant, but if that 60 becomes 140 days from now, then you're doing a lot better than you did 40 days before, right? The next is 30, 45, 60 minutes of movement. If that's where you're at, is a good marker for that power list. Now, I do also think that if you aren't moving, that doing something is better than nothing. Like going and moving for 10 minutes is progress. So again, movement is really key. So we have water, food, movement. Sleep is really important. And when it comes to sleep, for me, and this is like organizing yourself on a physical journey in your life. Now we can edit this power list as we go to elevate our entire lives. I'm specifically talking about a health journey right now, because I believe once we do take care of ourselves, then we can let that boil over into other areas of our lives, which we'll get to on another topic. When it comes to sleep, it's not about the duration of sleep. It's about what we do before we go to bed and then waking up. So what I like to look at when it comes to sleep is the cycle, the cyclic nature of going to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time every single day. And then what do we do before we go to bed, like prepping for bed? Do we have three screen syndrome? Are we on the TV, on our phone, on our computer, sitting there working on a couch with all this blue light in our face, with all this stimulus? And then we try and go to bed, and then we don't have our body get into a restful state, and then we wake up at whatever time we need, and we kind of roll into our day. So I like to look at what do we do to prep for positive sleep so our body can recover, and then what do we do as we wake up to get into a morning routine so we can get our day moving in the direction. The 3-2-1 rule is being me a lot. So it's really 3 hours before sleep, no food. 2 hours before sleep, no liquids. 1 hour before sleep, no screens. That one's a little bit harder for me because Lacey and I like to sit down and watch Netflix. We're rewatching some House of Cards right now because we wanted something edgy, and she's never seen it before, so we're on that kick for a little bit, but that can change at any time. Yes, I watch Netflix and Hulu and other things because I enjoy television and how people make film, so not a bad thing. I'm not saying take this away and be extreme, but like what are the little details of life that we put into our day-to-days to see progress happen over time? This works for me. Maybe it doesn't work. And then the last one I like to leave up to you as the individual. What is it that you can do for you? And that can be for your family or for your work or for your business. You know, it could be for your health still. It could be for your nutrition. It could be for training. But I like to give you one thing that you can pick in your life to help elevate a part of your life. So it could be communication and talking to a stranger every single day. It could be having a tough conversation. It could be calling your fucking mom if that's what makes you feel better right now. If you haven't done it and you want to do it, then do it. There's nothing wrong with that. But the truth is, these 5 things are going to help benefit you, body and mind, so that you can move forward in a direction and then learn to, over time, invest into other things on that power list so you can continue to elevate your life. And the reason why I keep it so basic and so simple in the beginning is because odds are that if you're not focusing on these things and you haven't focused on these things, then you need to be able to focus on these things so they can become second nature. Like brushing your teeth. You don't think about brushing your teeth, you just do it every single day. Why? Well, it's because your parents told you to brush your teeth every single night, and eventually it became a habit, and now you just go and brush your teeth. The same thing comes with eating the right food, having the right amount of protein, having the right amount of sleep, getting the right amount of movement in, drinking your water. If you're not focusing on those things to be on a list to improve yourself, they're not going to get done. You can't wish it, you have to work for it. So that's what I mean by powerless. Like, what can you do for you that's going to allow you to feel good about yourself, to move yourself in a positive direction every single day? So as you do those things, and you can physically write them down or type them in your phone, whatever it is, but make sure that you do cross them off as you do them, or check off the boxes as you do them. And then when you're done with all of them, you give yourself, why didn't I get that done? What happened? How could I improve upon that? What can I do tomorrow to make sure that that happens? And what I mean by that is, hopefully, you have another another night out, another in front of you where you can get back on track. And all of this is this powerless day, moment, decision. These small, seemingly insignificant decisions that you make, whether they go your way or they don't go your way, lead to experiences that you have, because life's going to be moving around you. It's going to be chaotic at times, going to be smooth at times. But if you can lean into yourself in these moments and prioritize yourself to put yourself first, what you're going to do is put yourself in a position to see success. So that's number one on how we do it. The other part of how we do it is actually managing your day and organizing your day. I like to use Google Calendars. I literally everything on my Google Calendar from the time I wake up and 6 a.m. Cool. So what do you do between 6 and the time you leave your house? She's like, well, I take care of the dogs, and I take them on a walk, and then yeah. And I said, okay, cool. Can we drink 20 ounces of water by the time you leave the house? Great. Where do you go when you leave the house? I bring the dogs to daycare. Awesome. Can we take another 20 ounces of water with us in the car and make sure we finish it by the time we get back? Yeah, I can do that. Great. What do you do at that point? Well, I go to the gym. Cool. Can you drink another 20 ounces of water by the time you're done with your workout? Yeah, I can do that. Amazing. We're at 60 ounces of water already. What do you do when you come back? Well, I shower, I get ready for work, I sit at a desk, and then I, get into my work. Amazing. Can you drink another 20 ounces of water by the time you are done with that task? Sure, I can. Amazing. Great. What do you do after that? Well, I usually go for another walk, or I do something out at work, or whatever it was. I can't remember exactly. But the point is that I asked her to take another 20 ounces of water with her in the car, and she was done with her water by 4 o'clock instead of not even coming close to it, because she prioritized it. She put it on her schedule. She set reminders on her phone. She set reminders in her calendar. And then she got these notifications like, drink water, drink water, drink water. And that may sound silly, but guess what happened afterwards? Since she was hitting her protein again, she was training, she was moving, she was sleeping, she had her water in, and the weight started to go down again. Because we took 10 minutes to think on what happens in our day and organize it in a schedule to then create a plan to then move forward and put ourselves in a direction to change. So when was the last time you looked at your calendar and micromanaged your day? And yes, I'm going to call it micromanaging, because if you're not managing your day, we're going to need to micromanage it at first before we can go into just managing it. And these things will change. You'll have to do this seasonally when you change jobs, when you change locations, when you change schedules, when you have new people in your life. You still need to put yourself first as a priority, because remember, this all falls one into the next. If you see where you want to go, see your vision, and you know why it's important, and then you begin to do it with the power list and understand how it gets done, when things change, the vision stays the same, the why stays the same, but we have to shift on the how, which is the organizational side of it. So whether you use calendar or notes or reminders or alarms or whatever it is, that is what I want you to do to get things done. So when we know what we're going to do on the day-to-day, and when we know what we're going to do on our week, the power list, the calendar, now we can go and just do it and take action on it. Last thing, when it gets hard, take a step back, zoom out, gain some perspective, and ask yourself, well, why is this hard right now? Why did I not do this the way I said I was going to do it? Is this really important to me? And when we think about it that way, and you have an actual conversation with yourself, instead of beating yourself up, you're going to see some positive change. That's how we get things done. That's progress over time. Number 3, we went over vision, we went over why, we're going over how. Now, what I want you to do is to take time today and write down what are the 5 things that you're going to do. Whether you use my version of the power list or your version of the power list, if you have more than that on there, it's okay if those things get done. The dishes can wait. The cleaning can wait. The folding laundry can wait. You can go to the store at another time. And if you can't, there are ways to get that done, but make sure that you do what you do for you first. Don't not do them, because this is the moment where it gets challenging, and this is where you go back to your why and say, okay, why am I doing this? Where is it that I want to be? This is how I'm going to get it done. I appreciate you guys for being here. I hope this helps. I'm fired up about this talk. Have an amazing day, and we'll be back tomorrow with the next topic. See you later.